Alright guys, how we doing? Paul here from the Three Hammers, and I'm doing a transfer window update video for you today. First thing to talk about, Carl Jenkinson. Got himself injured, giving away the penalty against City. Reports are saying he's done his knee ligaments, and he's likely to be out for the rest of the season. So they'll probably cut the loan deal short. I think it's a shame for Jenks. I really do. He was fantastic last year. Showed so much promise, you flying up and down that right wing, really good defensively as well, scored a few goals, and I was really hoping actually that we'd sign him on a permanent deal at the end of last season. I was really hoping we'd be able to get him. Unfortunately we couldn't. He signed a new 5-year deal with Arsenal, and we ended up paying, I think it was £2 million to get him back on loan for this season. To be honest, I weren't too pleased with that when we got him back, because to me that's a waste of money. It's a waste of resources, really. You're spending a couple of million for a player you're going to have for a season. It was pretty clear then that we weren't going to be able to get him on a permanent transfer. He was probably going to go back to Arsenal. So I don't know, it just seemed like there was nothing really in it for us. I would much rather have done what we've done with Cresswell and what we've now done with Byram, and that's bringing a younger player and then develop them, you know what I mean, rather than just develop a player for another team. As it turned out, he's not had a good season. Jenks, it has probably been our worst player this year. I mean, maybe signing that contract with Arsenal had an effect on him. He might have thought, well, I've got my long-term deal at Arsenal now. I'm only going to be at West Ham for a year. I'm not going to be here the year after. So, what does it really matter? Never really showed his form. Yeah, you can see the 3 penalties this year. His confidence completely shot. You could really see it in his performances as well. His confidence had completely gone. When Tompkins is playing right back, Tompkins did a fantastic job as well, by the way. But when you've got Tompkins playing at right back instead of you, that's not going to be doing your confidence any good anyway. But then we brought in Byram, and you could see long term, at least anyway, the right hand was on the wall for Jenks. Now obviously he's got injured, so we probably won't see him in a West Ham shirt again, and it is a shame. Hopefully he gets over his injury, sorts himself out, and hopefully he can come back for it. But I don't think we'll see him at West Ham again. So yeah, so we have brought in Sam Byram. Perfect timing, it turns out, with Jenks getting injured. And I really like Byram. He had a great debut the other day against City, and you think of the talent that he was coming on against to play against. He did really well. Kept it simple when he first come on. Doing the he wasn't getting forward too much. He was staying back, playing the simple passes. Apart from that one where Payet really put him in it by smashing it to him. Yeah, and he looked really good. He grew into the game. As the game went on, you could see his confidence was building. Started getting forward a bit more. He looked really assured. I was pleased for him. He's been talked about for a few years as a prospect at Leeds, and I know there's been quite a few clubs monitoring him, so I think we were quite lucky to get him. His family is West Ham, so we're told, so that probably played a big part in him coming to us. We've got him over Everton, obviously, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Last couple of years for Leeds, I think he's been playing a bit further forward. He's been playing right midfield, even right wing. So there's actually been comparisons with Gareth Bale about maybe playing further forward, but I think we're primarily going to be seeing him as a right back at West Ham. So strikers, big news this window is we're looking to bring in at least 1 striker. And I've been saying for a while now, if we want to push on, and if we want to get to that next level, then that's what we need. We need to bring in a good striker who's a step up. Do you know what I mean? Who's a real, like, a classy, prolific striker. At the minute, you look at our options up front. We've got Sacco. I love Sacco. Great player, fantastic last year, banging him in. But he's had trouble with injuries this season. He's only scored 3 goals. We haven't really had a chance to see the Sacco that we saw last year yet. So he can't really be relied on at the minute. Carroll is Andy Carroll. On his day, fantastic. When he's firing on all cylinders, unstoppable. Fantastic player. But he can't stay fit. You know, you can't rely on a player like that to lead the line when he's only going to be playing, you know, after games a season if you're lucky. Valencia scored 4 goals in 2 games now, so brilliant, great to see, really pleased for him. Another player I really like, but I think we need to see that form continue. Do you know what I mean? We need to see that form continue over a longer amount of time, because I do like Valencia and he gets into great positions, but the goals he's scored recently have been quite a bit lucky. Do you know what I mean? Scored 2 goals against City, and honestly, I think both of those goals he missed it. So he scored. That's the important thing. He done the main thing. He's scoring the goals. But yeah, I think we need to see that form continue over a long period of time before we can say, yeah, he's the man. He's going to take us to that next level. So, you know, again, another one that I wouldn't want to rely on just yet. And then lastly, we've got Jelic. Decent backup. You know, he's done well last few times he's come on. But that's what he is. He's a backup striker. You know, he's never going to be the one to start. He's never going to lead the line permanently for us, and apparently he could be leaving anyway in this window to go to China. So if he goes, good luck to him. You know, fair play. Again, you know, he seems like a decent bloke, decent finisher as well. And I think, you know, if he had a bit more of a run in the team, I reckon he'd score a few goals, to be honest with you. But you know, so like I say, you look at our options: Sacco, Valencia, Carroll, and Jelic. Neither of those 4 are going to push us on to the next level, in my opinion, at the moment. You know, maybe Sacco can get that form back. Maybe Valencia can carry on scoring. I don't know. We'll see. Zarate obviously is gone. He left for Fiorentina for about £2 million, I think. And I think he done alright for us this season. He got a lot of stick during his time at West Ham, but I think this season he done alright. Bilic sort of brought him back, put him back in the team when it looked like, to be honest, his career was done. And he was one of them players that he always looked dangerous. You know, whenever he was on the pitch, he always looked like he could make something happen. The biggest letdown with Mauro was he never knew when to release the ball. You know, he always had to do that one more trick. He always had to try and beat that one more player. Rather than put a pass in or take a shot, you know, he'd always take it too far. You know, he never knew when to release the ball, and that was a big letdown. So then you have to look at who we're going to bring in to the club. And there's been 2 strikers at the moment that are in the papers that seem to be the 2 main targets, and that's Emenike and Yilmaz, Burak Yilmaz. Start off with Emenike, currently with Fenerbahce, but he's been playing on loan at, I don't know how you pronounce this, Al Ain in Dubai. He's been linked with Chelsea and Liverpool in recent years. Big player on FIFA. If you play FIFA, you probably know Emenike is. 28 years old. He's actually got a good goal scoring record. 71 goals in 168 games. So yeah, just shy of 1 in 2. That's pretty good. I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about him. I haven't really seen him play too much, so I can't really say too much about him. But from what I've seen, he seems like a quick, powerful striker. Reports are saying that a loan deal looks likely with an option to buy, and I think that's a good way to go, to be honest. Get him in. You know, you don't know how he's going to adapt to the Premier League. Get him in for 6 months. See how he does during the season. If he adapts, brilliant. Got an option to take it permanent at the end of the season. If not, send it back. No, I'm done. And you know, you've got to look at the position in the squad as well. So that we have got cover. It's not essential, you know. So I think that's the way to go. A loan deal with an option to buy. The second player we've apparently been looking at is Yilmaz, Burak Yilmaz. I think we tried to buy him in the summer, actually. I think Bilic was after him. He's been after him for a while, but he decided to stay at Galatasaray. He's 30 years old. He'll be 31 in July, which is a bit of a worry for me. It doesn't seem to be a long-term answer. Obviously, getting on a little bit. He's got a good record. 175 goals in his career, 81 goals in 141 games. 81 goals in 140 games at Galatasaray, which is obviously a fantastic record. But he's spent his entire career in Turkey. So then you wonder, could he adapt? Could he make that transition to the Premier League? Could he do it in England? He has scored 8 goals in 9 games in the Champions League. Obviously, that's a good record showing he can do it against the big boys, but it's very different playing your game in the Champions League and then doing it consistently week in, week out in the Premier League. You know, it's a completely different proposition, especially when he's going to be coming up against, you know, like big physical defenders that are going to try and push him about. He's another one, I have to say. I don't really know too much about him. I haven't seen him play, so I can't really give too much of an opinion. But from what I've seen, people talking on the forums and that, they seem to be raving about this guy. They're saying, yeah, Yilmaz is the bollocks, basically. He's going to do it for us. Hopefully we get him in. Seeing a lot of positive things about him. Like I say, that's my only worry. The age is going to be 31 in the summer, and from what it looks like, we're probably going to have to buy him outright. So I think £5 million seems to be the figure that's being quoted in the press. £5 million for a 31-year-old. We're probably going to give him a 3 or 4 year contract, I would imagine. So I don't know. I don't know if that represents good value for money. So I don't know. Like I say, we'll have to see what happens. If he does come in, Yilmaz or Emenike, hopefully they, like I say, they come in, bam, smash the goals in, gets into Europe, go for the Champions League. Why not? Long term though, I don't see either of these as an answer. The last player we've been linked with is Gökhan, I don't know, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, Gökhan Tor, another player from the Turkish league, so it's another one Bilic knows quite well. And I'll be honest, this guy looks class. 24-year-old winger. He was actually in Chelsea's youth team, which I didn't know, from 2009 to 2011, so, you know, he knows England, he knows the English game. He has played over here before, only at a youth level obviously, but still, you know, he has been in the country. This guy's fast, he's skillful, he can pick a pass out, he can whip the crosses in, he can take on his man, and he chips in with the odd goal as well. So yeah, you know, he looks like a really exciting player. Good age as well, obviously, like I say, 24 years old. But because of that, I reckon it probably cost maybe 13 million pounds. So not cheap, obviously, by West Ham standards. That's a lot of money. Bilic has been looking for him for a while. It seems like he's been after him for quite a long time. Again, I think he tried to sign him in the summer, but we couldn't get him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this one happen, to be honest. Bilic obviously wants him, but apparently Atletico Madrid have also been watching him, and they've come in with a bid. So I don't know, we'll have to see what happens with that one. Really, if the guy's got a choice between us and Atletico, he's going to take Atletico Madrid. You know, Champions League football, at this moment in time, they're on a different level to us. So, you know, you couldn't blame him for choosing them over us. So I don't know, we'll have to see what happens with that one. The only other thing is, if we did bring Tor in, is where would he fit in the team? You know, and this is kind of the same with Emenike and Yilmaz as well. Like I say, if they're not the ones that take us to that level, like, where do we fit everybody in? So, you know, if you look at our attacking players, if you look at the strikers, we've got Sacco, Valencia, Carroll, Jelavic, who might be leaving, and then we've got maybe Emenike or Yilmaz coming in. And then the other attacking players, we've got Pai, Lanzini, Antonio, Moses, and then maybe Tor if he comes in as well. So, you know, where does everyone fit into that team? If Bilic sticks to this same sort of formation, then that's 4 players you've got to pick from those 10, which ain't easy, you know. Like, if Tor comes in, like I say, Tor seems to be really, really good, but I'd hate to see him come in and then see Antonio pushed out. Do you know what I mean? I like Antonio a lot. He looks like a really good prospect, and I want to see him get game time. I want to see us develop our players, you know. So really, I want to see Antonio playing. Obviously, Lanzini, Pai, when they're fit, they start. There's no question about that. They're pretty much undroppable. So I don't know. Moses, I can't really see staying past this season. He hasn't done enough for me. Just no. I don't know. I just can't see him. I don't think he's made a big enough impact for the sort of money that Chelsea would be looking for him. No, I just can't. I can't see him staying. So I guess maybe if we brought Tor in, then you'd have Tor, Antonio, sort of as the out-and-out wingers. You've got Lanzini and Pai, can obviously play out wide as well. And then one of the strikers up front, Valencia, can play out wide. So I don't know. I guess we'd have lots of options, and it's good to have that strength in depth. I don't know. It's weird. As a West Ham player, you're not used to having so many good players, you know. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how Bilic manages that. So yeah, it's exciting times at the minute. I'm looking forward to the end of the window to see what sort of team we end up with, who we bring in, if anybody. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season, you know, to see where we can go, how far we can go. I mean, you never know with West Ham, anything can happen. The table's quite bunched up in a minute. Top four, no, I don't think so, no. Unless we do manage to bring in like some wonder striker who comes in and bangs goals in left, right and centre. No, top six maybe, top eight I think we'll be looking for. So yeah, I think it'll be a good last season at the Bowling. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see how the season pans out. So what do you think? Do you think we'll get Emenike or Yilmaz? Do you think we should go for somebody else? Who would you pick? If you could pick anyone to sign for West Ham this transfer window, who would you do? Leave a comment down below. Let us know. Luke will be back with his match preview tomorrow, so look out for that one. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget you can also check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, that's it. As Luke says, come on you irons, keep believing. We'll see you soon. Cheers.